What's up, everybody? And I'm here with my pop for the first time in a while. You guys have been asking, and here he is. He has returned.
I am here.
The king has returned. So
long live the king.
It's good to be the king.
Because I reign supreme.
And this is going to be the first Whiskey Wednesday I've done in quite some time. And this week we're going to be reviewing a brand new whiskey. Now, full disclosure, I tried it last night in a Kentucky Mule. I haven't tried it on the rocks or straight or anything like that, so I'll really be getting the first taste of it without anything getting in the way of the full flavor. So
as y'all say in Kentucky, it's naked.
It's naked. So a little chilled but naked. So the bourbon we're going to be reviewing tonight is actually a brand new one. And first chance I wasn't able to get my hands on it, but then they actually got some more back in stock. And this whiskey is called Brothers Bond Straight Bourbon Whiskey. So let's just get to it. What's up, guys? You're watching Dad Smoking Cigars, presented to you by StogieLives.com, as well as Casa, Cuevas Cigars, from our Casa to yours. Thanks for joining us on the very first Whiskey Wednesday in quite a while. I don't think I've done one of these in almost a year.
I do whiskey every Wednesday.
Well, I do whiskey most of the time, but I don't always review it, so this is going to be my first review in a while, and I'm glad you get to join me, Pop, and we're both essentially trying it for the first time. So, even though I had a little bit last night, and now I'm trying it.
Kyle assures me no spit takes will be necessary.
So, a little bit of the story behind this whiskey, and I'm going to be admitting to something that some of you may make fun of me for. But once upon a time on the CW, there was a show called The Vampire Diaries, back when the vampire craze was in full swing with Twilight and all that insanity. And yes, I read the books, I watched the movies. You can make fun of me down in the comments. I know this man will probably make fun of me a little bit when we're off screen.
You know, when I was a kid, we had Dracula, and that was good enough for us.
Didn't need these newfangled, sparkly, emotional...
Vampire families, daytime vampires, nighttime vampires. So, the two main actors on the series, Ian Somerhaulder and Paul Wesley, became best buddies during the show. They played brothers, but became best buds during the show, and a running theme throughout the entire show, because it was based in the South, North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken, is obviously not the birthplace of bourbon, but they drank a lot of bourbon throughout the show. That would be Bourbon County, Kentucky. Sorry for interrupting.
It's all good. So, but they, throughout the entire show, now I don't know if it was real bourbon or if it was a mock bourbon.
Iced tea.
Yeah, but...
shout out to Iced Tea.
What the theme was, they enjoyed bourbon and they drank it constantly. So,
do you think Iced Tea likes bourbon?
Probably.
Okay.
I'll have to ask him next time I see him.
Sorry, just had to ask.
Anyways, so they decided not too long ago that they wanted to create their own bourbon, since they bonded over bourbon, playing brothers. See what I did
there you go.
Anyway, so and when I heard about it, I thought that was kind of cool. I mean, when celebrities produce their own line of stuff, it could be hit or miss. Sometimes they create something that is nice, maybe really good, and then other times it's maybe shit. But I'm judging from what I tasted last night just in the Kentucky Mule, even though I wasn't tasting the bourbon on its own. It was pretty good. So I should probably just shut up and pour us.
Shut up and pour.
Shut up and pour.
Those iced glasses that we brought out here, they're not iced anymore.
Okay,
they just have ice in them.
Hold on. I love that sound. So I just have to be careful not to go through this too quick, because they're out of stock already. So, and it might be a while before I'm able to buy.
While Kyle's pouring, let me just editorialize on bourbon right now. All you young whippersnappers are driving up the price of good bourbon that should be $28.
Oh my gosh.
But you hear about it on the interwebs, and you go out and you buy it out, and then people like me want to try it, and guess what? There's none to be had unless we want to pay 2, 3, 4 times retail. So stop it.
A bottle of Brothers Bond bourbon is actually not very expensive. It's only $45.
So it's actually very affordable. You can get it right now through reservebar.com. I'll leave a link in the description below, so that way, if they have any in stock, you might be able to pick up some for yourself. They're supposed to be having some available and online as well as in store. So everybody should be able to get their hands on it in the U.S. only. Sadly, overseas market need not apply. But let's, without any further ado, cheers. Nostrovia, even though we're not drinking vodka.
But we're Polish, and so that's what we say.
That works. That's actually really smooth.
That's very smooth. You know what I smell? I smell apple.
Yes.
It's crazy.
But when you taste it...
It's not apple flavored, but I smell apple, green apple.
I smell apple, I taste apple and cinnamon. And it burns so good.
But it doesn't burn.
On the way down, on the way down.
It's just very smooth.
Nice warm feeling all the way down, which is, for me, that's an earmark of good whiskey, is that nice warm feeling it gives you on the way down. So first thoughts.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Pretty impressed right off the bat.
That's tasty.
I didn't quite know what to expect because, you know, again, it's a creation of... I mean, these guys became passionate about good bourbon during the filming of a TV show, and I'm sure they tried a whole bunch of different types, and who knows what kind of budget they had for bourbon. They may have been able to get their hands on some pretty rare stuff. Mm-hmm. And, you know, in the show, they've been alive for over 100 years, so they got some of the best bourbon.
They've been around. They tasted Pappy when he was Sonny.
Right. So, and what are we smoking tonight, Pop, that we're pairing with this delicious bourbon?
Well, you know, Kyle and I were having a long, drawn-out conversation before the battery went dead, and so I'm halfway through a My Father Los Cedros, and I'm enjoying it immensely. So, smoke what you got, but I'll tell you, I haven't smoked this cigar in a while, and I just love the My Father line. I tell you what, they never disappoint me.
No,
say
they
what
don't.
You will.
They do not.
But yeah, man, this comes in a nice cedar wrapper, which you can use for lighting your sticks later on if you're so inclined. But nice smooth draw. It's a Corona size. It's a great cigar.
Tonight I'm having a La Aroma de Cuba Mi Amor Reserva. And I've had this before. It's a good stick, and it pairs very nicely with the bourbon. Kind of has a nice spicy note to it. Not like spices and peppery, but, you know, a little bit of that baking spice, and with the apple and kind of cinnamon profile that this whiskey has, which was kind of crazy when you pointed it out to me, because I don't know if I've ever smelled like an apple kind of aroma from a bourbon before. At least not that I've noticed. But
not unless it was
like a Jim Beam apple or something like that.
A Crown Royal apple, or, you know, one of the flavored whiskeys that, you know, some of the bourbon purists are turning their noses up at. But, you know, I say like what you like. Those flavored whiskeys make great cocktails.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, some people will kind of crap on flavored whiskeys, and depending on what you get, like, I'm not a huge fan of, I've had it, but I'm not a huge fan of Fireball. It's not one of those whiskeys I'll go out of my way to buy.
Makes great mouthwash the day after.
Pretty much, yeah. If you don't want to have, you know, stale whiskey breath, and you want to have something a little bit more refreshing, then yeah, Fireball's the way to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've tried it, and it's a good cocktail whiskey. I think this would make, I mean, as I said, I made a good, and I'm in no way a bartender or mixed drink maker or anything like that. But I think I made a decent Kentucky Mule, maybe minus one or two ingredients.
My lovely wife Andrea, who's out walking the dogs right now, she's the bartender extraordinaire, and even though she can't drink, she can smell a good cocktail a mile away. So she'll take some of those flavored whiskeys like the Crown Royal apple and make some tremendous apple cocktails.
My stepmom has a ridiculous palate, and she can reverse engineer drinks and meals and stuff. If she tastes something in anything, she could probably make it herself, and she could probably make it quite a bit better, depending on what it is. So, yes, she can make an excellent. She's made an excellent Manhattan, I believe she made for us before.
Yeah, she makes great Manhattans. She came up with this concoction. You know, whenever I'm in the Caribbean, which isn't often, but when I do, I do like to drink painkillers, which, you know, the traditional painkillers made with sweetened condensed milk, and Pusser's rum, orange juice, nutmeg, and I think I'm missing a key ingredient. But think of a pina colada on the rocks with nutmeg thrown over the top.
Ooh.
Is the nicest analogy I can make. There's a little coconut flavor going on in there. But Andy can make a drink out of a lot of the flavored whiskeys that comes pretty close.
And the dogs are coming to visit.
Let's let the dogs out.
Unleash the hounds.
Anyway, that's Bella and Bruno, and they're waiting to be let in for their evening treat. Hi, Bella.
Hello.
Bella's making a cameo appearance.
Hello.
Bella's our Welsh Corgi. She's about 4 months old. Sweetheart of a dog.
You want some bourbon? I'm kidding. I'm not going to give you any.
Actually, she likes Guinness. Strange,
That's
right?
awesome.
A Welsh dog that likes
a Welsh
Guinness.
dog that likes Irish beer.
Yeah.
That's.
It's in the UK. It's close enough.
It's blasphemy. That's what it is. So, and that was more Scottish than
She's
Irish.
bloody Welsh.
She's bloody Welsh. For those of you who have seen The Replacements, you'll know exactly what we're doing.
She's also wiry.
She's very wiry. But this is. I didn't have any low expectations. I didn't know what to expect with a brand new bourbon, and that just goes to show you never know what's out there, whether it's made by celebrities or an actual company that is either big name like Woodford Reserve and stuff like that, or kind of a small. I don't know if you would call them boutique whiskeys. I think that's pretty appropriate.
Let's be honest. Made by celebrities. Do you guys picture celebrities out there? I mean, can you just for a second? Can you picture celebrities making whiskey? They don't make whiskey. They go to a distillery and they do some tasting, and then they say, "Oh yeah, that one looks good. Slap my name on that bad boy." Because they're not out there making beer, which turns into the mash that goes into the barrels after they've sweated it in a still.
How do you know, Dad? You weren't there. You weren't there.
Let's just say I'm making a sweeping presumption, and I'm prejudging all celebrities who slap their name on liquor.
Yeah.
Except for Sammy Hagar. Everybody knows he rocks.
Yes.
And he made great tequila back in the day and sold it for $88 million. So
nice work.
Sam.
Nice work if you can get it.
Right.
And I would say you can get it if you tried, but I mean, unless you're Sammy Hagar, I can't guarantee that that's going to go the way you want it to. But I will say though, let's just make another assumption that Ian Somerhaulder and Paul Wesley they went to school. Like they went to bourbon school.
They went to bourbon school in Bourbon, Kentucky.
Exactly, and they wanted to find out what it took to make really good whiskey and be a part of it. I like to think that they did, just because I mean, yes, they may enjoy good bourbon, and any celebrity or anyone with a large pocketbook can get in touch with a distillery or partner with a distillery and decide to, let's make a bourbon. You guys handle all of that, and we'll be the face of it and stuff like that. That would be the easy part. But I'd like to think these guys, given their love of bourbon, took the time to find out what all goes into it and became a part of it, just because they seem to have a real deep love and passion for it and want people to enjoy good bourbon.
Point counterpoint on bourbon. Celebrities making bourbon. Do they? Don't they? These are the hard-hitting questions that we're addressing on Dad's Smoking Cigars Whiskey Wednesday. We're going to get down and dirty into the making of bourbon and whether these people have street cred or don't they.
Dad,
I say they don't.
Dad, you ignorant slut. There I go ripping off Saturday Night Live.
Right.
You knew I had to,
Mm-hmm.
and you saw it coming. Let's just be honest. You knew if somebody was going to say it at some point. But
I kind of walked into that one.
You
Lobbed the
did.
softball and he managed to hit it out of the yard.
You did. I went yard.
He went yard.
I didn't even mess around. But no, I want to say cheers to the gentleman who had an idea at the very least of wanting to produce their own bourbon, whether they just slapped their name on it or they actually went full tilt into the process and wanted to be there every step of the way.
Here's what I say. Invite us to your distillery. Show us that it really exists. Take us on a tour and let us sample some of your finest bourbon. And then maybe we might give you, a favorable rating. Just saying.
Ian, Paul, we're waiting. Shoot us an email, send us a message. I mean, we're down. I mean, we're not anybody that would be considered important, but hey, we love good bourbon.
Hey, we influence tens of lots
hundreds.
of guys, okay? We know lots of guys who drink lots of whiskey, all right? So
we know some guys.
We have influence. Come on.
So at the very least, we hope that you see this video and find it hilarious and enjoy it. And I will say, and I know I'm speaking for my dad when I say this, we are enjoying this bourbon. It's actually very good.
We are. Okay, you know, am I jealous of celebrities? Hell yeah, they have lots of money. They can get engaged in these little passion projects and just, ooh, I'm making whiskey. Ooh, I'm making tequila. Ooh, I've got my own cigar line. Well, behind those celebrities is a master blender of tobacco or a master distiller. The people that do the real heavy lifting. But if they're providing the quan, I mean, you got to have money to make great whiskey, right?
This is
you got to have money to make great cigars.
Does it help? Would it help if I told you Ian Somerhaulder smokes cigars?
Oh, we did.
Oh, we bet.
So all I'll say is my hat's off to you celebrity wannabes, because let's face it, no matter what we do, no matter how well we do it, I don't know if I can put this
video out.
We always want to be doing something else. Basketball players want to be rappers. Rappers want to be basketball players. Actors want to be distillery experts. They want their own line of wine, Francis Ford Coppola, which, by the way, isn't bad. It's pretty damn good.
No, I've tried it. It's actually very good. So, little celebrity passion projects, however involved or removed that they are, sometimes pan out pretty good. And
I challenge you, Ian Somerhaulder,
Ian, and Paul.
Ian and Paul. If we come to your distillery and we see the operation and we taste your wares, I'm just going to tell you, boys, you'll be on fire. You'll be on fire. Your whiskey will be so popular throughout Riverside County, second largest county in America, geographically. But anyway,
we're number 2.
We're number 2.
But if you had to give this whiskey a rating, let's just say how we rate cigars. Usually, like cigar magazines will rate, out of 100. And you've seen a lot of 90+ cigars and things like that. If you were to apply the same rating to this bourbon, what rating would you give it? Being a seasoned bourbon drinker, it's your favorite type of whiskey.
Oh, so now we're going to get serious.
Now we're going to get a little serious.
All right, so
this whiskey's getting a little warm over by the fire.
It has nice color.
Yes, nice amber color.
Really smooth taste. Now that we've had a little water into it, it's just fabulous.
It's opened it up very nice.
Yeah.
Got some. I'm getting a little bit of like some kind of floral notes too, as well as the apple. At least that's just me.
I'm gonna say I need another glass to smell those flowers, but I would say I would not pass this bourbon up anywhere. I'd give it a solid 90+ rating.
Okay.
It's outstanding.
I think I'm in the same boat. Give it a 90+ rating just because it's got really good flavor, very smooth. I've had some pretty bitey bourbons. In the very brief amount of time I've been sampling bourbon, I haven't been drinking it too long. But it's much like you. I used to be a Scotch guy. Now I'm very much a bourbon drinker.
Scotch fed. Just no offense to Scotch drinkers out there,
it's not for everyone.
A friend of mine told me apparently my palate isn't sophisticated enough to appreciate Scotch. God knows I've tried, but you know what? Peaty, smoky, you can have it. Bourbon it's crafted. There's rules, okay? You can't just mix up the barrels and throw it in there and let it age and say, oh, look, I used rosewood. Oh, look, I used a Scotch barrel. No, you can't do that. You have to put it in American oak barrels, never used before. It has to be 51% corn. There's rules to making a fine bourbon.
Otherwise,
and if you follow those rules, that's right, then it's just whiskey, my friends. And there's lots of great whiskeys out there. I love rye whiskey, love bourbon. I will tell you, I'm a whiskey lover to my core. But if we're talking bourbon, that's one thing I'm serious about. And so when you're making a good bourbon, you got to follow the rules. In fact, bourbon is the first food product in the United States that ever had rules handed down by the federal government regulating how it was made. Sorry to get so serious about you, but bourbon is
it's important information. We're educating people right now who may not know anything about bourbon.
So when you ask about what's the difference between whiskeys, it's all whiskey. Well, no, it's not.
No, it's not.
Okay? There's a lot of craft that goes into making Scotch. there's a lot of craft that goes into making bourbon.
Indeed.
And there's a lot of craft that goes into making rye. When you make rye, it's bourbon, but it's less than 50% corn, and they use rye as the grain to help flavor that, which is a great thing. I love rye whiskey. But I got to tell you something. Bourbon is the purest form of whiskey on the planet. It's beautiful, it's tasty, it's wonderful. And as my friend Guy Durrett would argue, you wouldn't mix a good bourbon with anything, or a good whiskey with anything.
Nope.
And that's when you know you can drink it on its own, whether it's on the rocks or whether it's neat, without any mixers, without any, fruit, or without any, what have you, ginger beer. And I'm not knocking Kentucky mules, but I tell you what, I wouldn't make a Kentucky mule out of this bourbon. That's how much I like it.
He's passionate, everybody.
Right? So I'm on my freaking soapbox. I'm lobbying for the bourbon.
He's not only the original Dad Smoking Cigars, he's the bourbon preacher.
That's right. And so, if y'all get down to Kentucky sometimes, and my stepdad's from Tennessee, so that's why I talk this way. My mama's from Oklahoma. But I'm going to tell you something right now. When I talk about bourbon, it's like going to church. I take my bourbon seriously.
Absolutely. And I seriously enjoyed this bourbon. I'm glad that I was able to get a bottle for myself. Took a while for it to finally arrive, but it was worth the wait. And I'm glad I got to share with you. And I'm glad that it's got the original Dad Smoking Cigar seal of approval, so just stamp that. There you go, certified. It's a good bourbon.
Hey, Ian and Paul, if we don't get a call from you, I'm going to be very disappointed because that means you think I'm less than, and I don't think that's appropriate in today's culture. So I'm just going to say, let's get together, let's have some bourbon, let's talk. How can I help you? Help me, help us, help you.
No, well, they weren't in that movie, but I get what you're doing right now. So,
right.
But anyways. Great bourbon. I'm right with you on the 90 rating. Excellent. I mean, for a first effort, whether it was all the master distillers' work or they were heavily involved, which again, I like to believe that they were, and that this is beyond just a passion project that kept them busy. This is something that they really enjoyed doing. Mm-hmm. You can tell the bourbon's made with a lot of love.
Yeah.
And
there's a lot of love in this bourbon.
A lot of love in this bourbon, and I loved getting to enjoy it. And I hope to grab. I want to make sure this doesn't go too quick, because if it's limited stock, I definitely don't want this to go like that, because this is the only bottle of whiskey I have right now. So I'm in trouble if it goes too quick. But
so to our friends in Australia, it's a 6 if you like cricket. If you like baseball, it's a home run. If you like football, it's a touchdown. It's a 3-pointer. It's all that stuff. So I'm serious when I say we give it a 90 plus.
Yes.
But I'm saying it could be higher if we went to the distillery. Just in case I haven't mentioned it yet.
Yes. Well, I think the memo has been sent. We'll see if it gets read. How about that, Pop?
All right. Have your people call my people. We'll take a meeting. I love you. We'll do lunch.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed this first Whiskey Wednesday in a while. I'm glad I got to do this with my pop. He definitely added a whole new entertainment value to the whole thing.
Sorry I was a little bit subdued this evening. I'm
well,
getting over a
subdued.
cold.
If that's subdued, I don't want to see you like full tilt. That's going to be a little too much to handle.
Sorry, I like to preach about bourbon. What can I say?
So, hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to leave some links down below to show you where you can pick up some Brothers Bond bourbon. If it's in stock, hopefully it is. And you guys can pick some up for yourself and enjoy it. Yeah, this was a blast. And again, thanks for joining us, guys. And as always, we will catch you in the next one.
Oh, and in parting, if you see these guys on the street, you tell them.
They're very good-looking guys. So
yeah.
they're
get their autograph, say hi, schmooze a little bit, but then tell them.
Yeah, I know these two yahoos. These two yahoos who went off on a rant on YouTube.
We could make you or break you. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, Dad.
Sorry.
Anyways, see you guys in the next one.
Peace.
Hey guys, thanks again for tuning into this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and also follow Dad Smoking Cigars on dads_smoking_cigars on Instagram, and be sure to check us out on Facebook. Until then, guys, stay smoky, and I'll see you in the next one.